season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. From the end zone comes Chris Claybrooks to return. And he's going to be out of bounds on the return. Not a great return. They'll start back around the 17. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working. But how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. To throw is Fields. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. A nice jump. Pressure there, scrambling for 11. Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A play fake, now Fields to throw. And he'll find Moreau here. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. The Lions at 8-1 on the year. They come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. 11 yards there and a Lion 1st down.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of 1st downs, established what they wanted. The run.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit.
But that run is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slam.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard down a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. They'll start this drive out on the ground. That's to about the 28. 2nd down coming up. Now this defense for the Lions, they were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for them to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for them to escape the pocket and run.
14 yards, good for a Panther first down.
He's brought down at the 42-yard line. A gain of 14. First down, Carolina.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Still in the first quarter, but what a great start for them. I mean, they've controlled the airways, Charles, on both sides. They had the passing touchdown. Then they intercept the pass of the other squad and take it back for another score.
Brandon, I know we have a ton of time left, but what an early backbreaker they just delivered. They're up early, and they appear to be totally dialed in. And that offense, they're forced to run right back out, still shaking up a bit, but feeling the pressure to put something on the scoreboard. They've got to be careful here.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone.
The Panthers take over first down 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. And he put up a good fight, but he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 2nd and 12, Mahomes, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And Brandon, how many times have we seen in defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there. Got a nice interception and set up their offense in great shape.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
From the 16, Fields. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick six for a Panther touchdown. Well, in a tight game like this, that could be an incredibly important pick six, CD. And remember, it cancels out the one that the opposition had earlier in this ball game.
You're right about that, partner, because each side came up with plays to swing the momentum their way. Still plenty of time left for either team to come through with a win, though. Can someone else make a similar play and win it for their club?
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Clay Brooks going to bring this one out. And he'll be out of bounds here just past the 20-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
Well, it doesn't take any great Jokes, partner, okay? All right, on this one. But we just know that we're going to see this as the game moves forward. There's going to be two guys on him at just about every snap.
It's kind of a dare to throw his way, but they have to keep throwing his way.
The benefits could be great. You throw it to a great receiver, he could come down with it anyway.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back. And how about this, a fake? And this is caught, and the gamble pays off. They get the first. Give them an even 20 yards there on the pickup as a fake punt fooled everybody. And I don't know what the method is to know when to dial up a fake punt, when not to, whatever the method there, it worked for them.
I think you actually did explain it. There is no method. It's just a feel, a sense, and a healthy dose of guts in order to call that play in that situation.
Element of surprise, I guess, right?
Yeah, element of surprise and just a strong belief that, hey, we're going to get it done.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down. The defense was ready for the run-pass option, diagnosed it perfectly.
Not only did they stack him up at the point of attack, but he was met by a host of light-colored jerseys.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Panthers are going to take possession of the football. Bear in mind they had 2 interceptions last week, but that was in 4 quarters. They've got 2 here in the first quarter alone.
And the unsung people in this streak, the pass rushers, because most of the time, they're the ones that affect things in the pocket for a quarterback trying to throw the football, rushing them, getting them off their spot, harassing them. And that allows the defensive backs, the linebackers to swoop in and make the picks downfield.
They're swooping.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Through 1 quarter, 14-7 our score. Here's 2nd and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Officially nothing on that one, no gain. So they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Able to find Isabella. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Well, they've done a pretty good job keeping him in check to that point, but he finally breaks off a nice run here and gets into the end zone.
And it just takes one, doesn't it, partner? That can undo a lot of good work that a defense has done to that point. You break off one right there, and everything suddenly looks bad for you.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and we are tied at 14.
Jason Sanders set to kick off.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And that 14-0 lead to begin the ball game, well, that's gone now. Time to regroup.
I think even up 2 touchdowns, they knew this wasn't going to be a walk in the park, and I think that's why we would see the head coach going up and down the sidelines telling his team, let's stay with it, let's keep going. It's almost like he knew they were going to make their run out, and they have. As you said, let's see if they can regroup and get going again.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Yeah, and that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. From the gun, here's Fields. And that is incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Tress Way on 4th down is sent out to punt. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They've got momentum on their side. They were once down 14-0. Now it's even at 14 as they look to put together a drive to get them the lead. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw, it's Mahomes. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Gonna need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
Palardy now on to punt as he sends this one away. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They go up the middle with Chubb. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
And force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Oh, fires this one downfield for Chubb. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
So the completion good for 7 there. And now it's 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. He completes this to Cole Turner. The Panthers going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
On 1st down, Mahomes. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And he will have a 1st down here as they get into field goal range as well, down at the 17-yard line. See some head shaking on that defensive sideline because so much focus on taking away what he did last week as NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Big gain there for him to start.
I love your observation because you would think they'd be prepared for him after what he did the previous week. But sometimes that skill set actually intimidates a defense, and he used it to his great advantage.
Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Ball at the 8 here for 2nd and a yard, maybe a touch less. Mahomes to throw once more. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, Brandon, we see why it's a team game there because there's a sign of relief that they just released defensively. If he's able to get that one away, that's likely a touchdown. But instead, that pressure from the front got to him and forced the incompletion.
You're right. He had him open. Just a split second too late on the release. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, a chip shot here. Sanders' kick is good, and they take a 17-14 lead. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And only 6 seconds on the clock, so time likely for just 1 play. They'll get this to his tight end. It's Jonnu Smith. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the 1st half. A final shot before the break. Fields. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead, but also a little bit of scolding because they got to take better care of the football in the second half. But you and I both know the great leaders, they know how to give that little bit of vinegar in there and cover it with a big dose of honey.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Mahomes. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12. Here's Mahomes to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him. Complete. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
2nd and 5. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. 63 yards rushing for him now as his fine rookie season continues.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Mahomes now on first down. Throwing left side, it's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. M.J. Stewart made the tackle from his corner spot.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now Mahomes. And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Kyle Pitts, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Panthers take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Sanders on for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
Makes the score Panthers 24, Lions 14. Jason Sanders set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Clay Brooks going to bring this one out. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11.
For most people, the excitement of the kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now...
Oh, wide open, complete. 20. Touchdown, Detroit.
When you're thinking about your opening drive in the third quarter, you're thinking about exactly that, putting together a drive. But instead, what did we get?
Big pass downfield, touchdown. I thought, okay, just sitting back in my chair, let's get eased in, a couple runs. No.
Yeah, forget the body blows, folks. Let's throw the big shot right now.
After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Right back to him on first down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Well, I guess that's one way to slow him down, try to grab him by the face mask.
Well, nothing else seems to have worked because he certainly had his way running the football in this one.
So now factoring in the face mask, here's 1st and 10. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
A gain of 14 yards. First down, Carolina.
Mahomes now to throw. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will bring it back. An interception return for the Lions. Touchdown. So this whole game gets flipped on its ear right there. The interception, return for a touchdown. And this lead changes hands here in the third quarter.
And it certainly felt like this defense had a read on what was going on the offensive side of the ball and said, let's cut down our coverage a little bit. Let's be in a position to make a play on the ball. And boy, that sure turned out well for them.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Nick Chubb with career touchdown number 75. And the Lions get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. Takes it at the 7. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily to look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Panthers 24.
They fake the give. Now Mahomes. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a one-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Right back to Pitts again. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. On second and goal, they'll give it to him again. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Mahomes gets it out quickly, and it's complete out wide. Touchdown, Panthers. Brandon Cooks from 3 yards out. And the Panthers have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Mahomes will throw for it toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation. This time, unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. It's rare that a receiver of his caliber would drop 1 pass, but that's now 2 times he's had his mitts on one and lost it.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're going to lose confidence in him, though, because of the track record. Such a good player, maybe having a bad game, but I think they'll still go to him in a critical spot.
Now Chubb running right. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball and continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
On 4th down, Fields. Now he lets it go deep for Kirk. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. A quick throw complete out to Isabella. Touchdown! Andy Isabella, 29 yards. And the Panthers have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? R-A-C?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. They're going to try and run. And he'll get into the end zone. So now a field goal would only tie as they've upped their lead to 3. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the 4th quarter. Gregory Rousseau able to bring him down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
That was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Fields. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked up by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Panthers are going to take possession of the football. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw or maybe the ball's tipped or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Hands it off out of the gun. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there. With his 14th touchdown of the year, second of the game. And the Panthers will add to their fourth quarter lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
35. Jason Sanders set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
The Lions take over first down 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit. Being chased out left. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. They'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
It is certainly becoming rarer by the year to see your franchise guy take a hit like that. The defender couldn't believe he had a shot to light him up. So when you take off and run, you have to make sure you can slide, get out of bounds, anything. Just don't leave yourself open to hits like that.
From the 29, Fields, throw right side, taken in by Eskridge. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
He's going to fire one deep left sideline, and that is incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Fields. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
The Lions on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Now Fields. He'll air this one out for Kirk. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
Fourth down, Fields has to have this one. And he gives himself up, but not before he gets the conversion. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
Lions, first down. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. Eluding the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Gregory Rousseau in there to take him down, and the clock will roll.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. He's going to let it fly. And this is caught. And in for the Lions, touchdown. Gabriel Davis, 60 yards. And the Lions have got it back to within a score. The PAT good. It would draw him closer, but hold on just a second. A flag is down on the field.
Well, certainly those are the types of mistakes they're trying to avoid as they attempt to protect this lead late in the game.
And let's face it, they're hoping that this one doesn't cost them in a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed a penalty, but now the entire defense has to pay the price and try and rise up and overcome it.
And it looks like the Panthers' hands team does its job. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical. That was a pretty good job defensively to hold them to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late fourth quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on third?
I don't. I run the football and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. Yes, folks, that is his third interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
And he takes us just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
They're not out of it yet, but in order to come back, they need to play clean football the rest of the way. He makes the correct read there, passing on challenging a blanket coverage and getting the first down with his legs instead.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And able to work his way down to the 16. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Now Fields.
16-yard line.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Brought down back at the 19-yard line.
Back to throw, Fields.
Forced out to his left. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's fourth down. Maybe some temptation here to try to go for the win, but I think you got to kick the field goal.
I agree totally. When you look at the time left on the clock, that's not a spot where you take the gamble. Go ahead and kick the field goal here and take it from there.
On fourth field goal, a 36-yard attempt.
And this one is right through. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. And we need overtime to decide this one after 4 quarters of play. We're all even. The extra session in a moment. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So the Lions now, they'll get the first crack at things here in overtime as we are back underway.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
All set up for them right now, Charles. Opening possession of overtime. They've got the football. They also obviously have this home crowd behind them in a big way.
They get that extra energy from them, but they've got to be careful not to let that adrenaline get away from them and play too fast or create errors of their own making. Use that energy, embrace it, but make sure they channel it the right way. They've got a chance to go downfield, score a touchdown, and end this game.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Fields now to throw.
Oh, and it's intercepted. And some space here.
And the Panthers are going to take possession of the football. What a big-time interception that is here on the first drive of overtime. And now, Charles, they're already knocking on the door with a short field. Remember, all they need is 3 points to win this game.
And that thinking just can't limit them on offense. The playbook should still be wide open. Get a first down, maybe 2. Do it safely. Nice throws that your quarterback can make. Nice runs that your running backs like. But make sure you get yourself into position and let your kicker have at it.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
What can Mahomes do now with his overtime drive? And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. He's got Turner.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
So it all rests now on the right foot of Jason Sanders. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack.
127 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, "I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along."
And now this game's going to come down to the right leg of their kicker. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the defense as they'll burn their final one here and let that kicker stay out and think about it a bit more. So on is their kicker, and it's down to this. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime.